Boom, we are now live. Welcome to the True Knowledge Wednesday virtual session. True School is here. I'm gonna mute everyone's mics, so y'all are all let me know when you need to get unmuted in order to participate. This is what we've been doing here virtually in our Wednesday night sessions. We have continued our True Knowledge sessions, and you can go to our True School TV page on our YouTube channel and also check out some of the recaps of our previous virtual sessions of Art of Coping and True Knowledge Wednesdays. We've had different special guests, different dialogue and conversations to keep some of the energy flowing as we do in our after school program, when things had to get sort of shifted abruptly. And so this is a part of that shift. And we want to, again, thank everyone who's joined us. Thank all the alumni, all the youth and community who've supported, helped us spread the word about the virtual sessions and just help keep the energy going, adding on to the dialogue. We truly appreciate it. Today is a very special edition. It's a Youth Fighting for Justice special edition. Just in case you did not know, Youth Fighting for Justice is not a new mechanism for True School. We've been working on this Youth Fighting for Justice media project for several years, and it's very critical because we're using our artistic, creative, media-based skills to really spread a message and give youth a platform and give youth a voice for issues that are important to them. And I'll just give you a quick background. We work with a lot of organizations. True School loves to shout out our project partners, our network of great minds and people that we have that work with our young people in project-related summertime through our after-school programming, things that really are impactful to the community locally. This Youth Fighting for Justice has even expanded to a national conversation. We work with groups outside of Milwaukee as well. So I just want to take a quick second to shout out the ACLU in Milwaukee. Big shout out to Emilio Marquette and the Curto program with Dr. Smith, Peak Initiative, CJNY out of California. Also, some of our Chicago affiliates like Coomba Links, like Elephant Rebellion, like the Free Right Group. Just some awesome organizations in Chicago that we work with, the Youth Fighting for Justice Media Project, the Milwaukee Art Museum, Teen Art Express Summer Program. We've worked with them pretty close. African American Roundtable, Liberate MKE. We've worked with Milwaukee Water Commons on environmental justice issues, giving young people a platform to talk about what's important to them. Just a whole bunch of great organizations, MIAD included, bringing Guns Down Milltown, Office of Violence Prevention into it, bringing Stillwater Collective with Sister Dasha Kelly into it. We work with so many different people to figure out how can we give a platform using the tools that True School has to youth that want to speak up for justice. And that's what we're here for today, to really talk about the extension of this media project, what's next, what's the possibilities. There are Youth Fighting for Justice mixtape projects available online right now. If you go to our SoundCloud, maybe somebody can help me drop that in the link right now. Drop that in the chat so people can go and check out our SoundCloud Youth Fighting for Justice if you want to do that later. Also, several videos up for the Youth Fighting for Justice on our YouTube TV channel, True School TV. Just want to say all of that and get that out the way for the intro. A lot of our students have been out in the Milwaukee protests. We've been seeing a lot of posts on social media. We've been seeing students share artwork, share some of their photography. So we thought it was critical to sort of just give pause and think about how we can have a discussion based around what's really happening legit in our environment, not just here in Milwaukee, but as everyone has been paying attention knows, this is happening globally, right? And a lot of people have questions. A lot of young people especially are wondering what's going on and looking for outlets to ask questions, looking for outlets to share solutions and give their perspective about different things. So throughout the protests, and there's still demonstrations happening in Milwaukee every day. So it's like many different organizations organizing protests and activating public spaces for people to speak out and voice their opinions about justice in so many different ways right here in Milwaukee. So it's really a time like no other. We just want to, again, give a shout out to all the people who have been out there, give a shout out to all the young people, the students, all the activists that have been out there organizing, holding it down day after day after day. It's a strong tradition of protests in Milwaukee. It's a strong tradition of marching, and our young people have a lot of fuel to their fire. So again, just want to shout out everybody who's been on the ground, shout out all the organizations, all of the individuals who've been, just really productive and trying to really push for some constructive change and spread the message of justice. So right now, I want to go into this very special presentation unless anybody on the line that want to chime in right quick before we do this presentation. I got a couple of our TRUE Skool family on the line, and anybody want to say what's up, I'll just yield the floor if anybody want to say anything. Tyrone is here with us. We're going to get into a really exclusive conversation with Tyrone Randle, and we'll do that right after this brief photo exhibits. This is only a part one. We still have other photos that students have submitted. We still will be opening up the call to get more photography and media in general from students and youth and community, TRUE Skool Familia, that have been out there on the front lines, demonstrating, protesting, uprising, and looking to be heard. You know, some people out there to look out for the crowd and to be help and coordinate and support, not necessarily to be heard, not to say anything. So big shout out to everybody that's out there, you know, doing the security detail as well, because I see you. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop this video. That is the photo exhibit of our part one protest video. You can enjoy. So that was just a quick snippet of what is part of our photo exhibit. We will be sharing more in part 1, part 2, and we do have some video content created. We have some art content created from some of our participants as well. Students have been very touched and moved during this time. And quite honestly, we're looking for a lot of different input. And we've been asking not just TRUE Skool family or alumni or participants, but general artists in the community, their consensus on things, what they think. We see one thing for sure in Milwaukee, art has played a huge role in the way that the community has responded. Art has played a huge role also in the way that the community has began to heal and began to come together around this critical time. And so the power in what we all do as TRUE Skool every day, all day is not ever to be taken for granted or questioned on that level, but now is more important than any time before, as we can see. And our Youth Fighting for Justice program has been active, and it's more important now than it ever has been before. And so we have to do what we need to do to amplify and uplift and to just reinvigorate this whole program, the Youth Fighting for Justice segment. Again, go on the SoundCloud, TRUE Skool 414, go on our YouTube, TRUE Skool TV, look up Youth Fighting for Justice, see some of the work we've been doing, listen to some of the media we've created and put out, watch some of the videos we've created and generated discussions around important topics that young people from TRUE Skool Familia have brought to the forefront. So I can't stress that enough. If somebody want to drop some of those links in the chat for me, TRUE Skool TV on the YouTube and TRUE Skool 414 on SoundCloud. And also our podcast has some Youth Fighting for Justice content as well. So I'm telling you, we're about to crank this thing up because are you got something to say? Tyrone, Randle, who has been a strong, intricate part of Youth Fighting for Justice, maybe 3-4 years when we first kicked it off, Tyrone was right there. And Tyrone helped us develop a lot of the art and the visual concepts to represent the music and the media and different things that we were pushing. So that led to also us doing a lot of events and activating different community spaces like on Marquette University at Haggard Museum, for example. Tyrone was there helping us facilitate a really important youth and community discussion. And today really is just an extension. All of our work is just an extension, you know. And so Tyrone, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're taking the time out to chop it up with us. I'm gonna unmute you right quick. Or you gotta unmute yourself, please.
Right on.
Right on. You gotta just get somewhere so you can be still so we can hear you and everything.
All right.
We're gonna have a wonderful discussion today. And thanks again to everyone who submitted for the photo exhibit. There will be another round of photo sharing and exhibit and some audio sharing coming up soon. So I know a lot of people, even some of y'all tuned in, have some footage from when y'all was out there in a lot of those different demonstrations and marches. So we definitely look forward to seeing and hearing. Okay. So Tyrone, talk to us, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm taking it one day at a time, one step at a time.
So a lot of people may not be familiar with your role. I won't even just say in TRUE Skool, but you know, beyond TRUE Skool in the community, you're very well known, respected artist, visual artist, musician as well. And so just take a quick second, man, introduce yourself to the people, let them know a little bit of background from you and, you know, give them any of your contacts if you want to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm a Milwaukee native, graduated from MIAD 2015 with a bachelor's in integrated studio arts. But my focus has always been the betterment of people of color. It's always been the subject matter of my art. It's always been the subject matter of my music. So really this whole time feels like I've been waiting. Been waiting. And that's now it's time to move.
So graduate at MIAD, you know, again, MIAD has been one of the partners that we've engaged in this because the power of visual arts in propaganda and protest is not nothing new. It's a historical conversation that we have introduced to some of our students and some of our visual illustrators and designers about what they're doing and what they're able to do with their artwork based on history and what some of the greats have done in history in terms of pushing social change forward through arts and culture. So congratulations again on that. Because when we found out you was a whole MIAD graduate, we didn't know. We knew you was an awesome artist and we knew you was amazing, but we didn't know it was a whole MIAD graduate in front of us in general. So a lot of our students are connected to that experience, and we want to make sure we always shout out MIAD. It's a great bridge for TRUE Skool and a lot of our students. Everybody don't have the same experience, but it's good.
For sure.
So I wanted to, get into your conversation. I don't know if you want to view the video or if you just wanted to talk a little bit like backstory. Before we do the video, you went out there for 5 days, before you were subsequently injured during one of the protests here in Milwaukee. So, like, what made you even just be motivated to go out day one? Why did you even get up out of your comfort zone and say, you know what, I'm out here?
Because really my whole life, or really the whole time I've been doing this work, the main thing is that our amendments are being trampled. That's been the main thing. It's like, even color removed, and race removed, our amendments as Americans is being trampled. And that's the issue.
Absolutely. So
that's number one reason for being out there.
So day one in Milwaukee, give people like a vibe of the energy. What was the temperament out there on the streets?
What's the temperament? I mean, most people are calm. Most people are collected. But again, there's still a lot of rage, still a lot of anger. You can still feel that. Even while people are protesting peacefully, and they all really are kind of just, I feel like, waiting for something to pop off. Like, that's the whole energy. It's like almost a knowing that what they're doing isn't accepted.
So, I mean, we saw in the pictures, there were people from all different kind of backgrounds out there, right? There were people from all different sides of the city out there standing up. Like you said, people's rights are being trampled on. And I think people are realizing that wider and wider. And we're seeing a different group of young people out there nowadays demonstrating and not necessarily afraid to confront the system in a certain kind of way. Talk to us a little bit about like that fearlessness that's out there that you witnessed. Like we understand our rights are being violated and our amendments are being trampled, but what's with the fearlessness of running up on the police and they so heavily armed and people are just not intimidated anymore?
I think that the thing is that we've been programmed as people of color to be around the cops all the time. Like, to some degree, it's almost becoming desensitized to it, if you ask me. Like, they're kind of just like, okay, we sick of this. Like, we tired of you. We sick of the system. We didn't hurt our grandparents, our grandparents, our just like they just talk about it generation after generation. It's been a conversation. It's been a conversation when I was a kid growing up. Like, you got to watch yourself because you're Black and you're a man. Like, so we put those two things together, then you're a target. My mom had that conversation with me as a young person, like a very, very young person. So like that, people are sick of it. And we also, I think with this generation, I don't want to say it's an awakening, but I do feel like there were things that happened in the past that were may or may not have been government initiated, that would have caused a sort of breakage in the collective conscious of people of color and people of the movement. But that is now being reversed. It's going back in reverse, and people are essentially waking up and like they see it now as a system.
I mean, we've had these conversations long, many hours in relation to the Youth Fighting for Justice Project. Some of our like goals and targets, and also what's the visual images we wanted to portray, right? Like, what are the messages? What's the conversation we want to provoke with our visuals, with our artwork, with our music? What is the change we want to provoke? And I just want to get your understanding also, like day 3, day 4, like what was the change in what you were seeing, witnessing, and what kept you coming out there day after day?
I think the way things kept escalating, each day was a little bit more tough or a little bit more rough on terms of the cops' end.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I was just out there to document.
Mm.
I'm out there with my camera, whatever, people looting, rioting, whatever. But then I'm watching cops gas people who are kneeled. And then I'm watching them shoot rubber bullets at the people who are literally kneeled. They're holding up signs, they're on their knees, and you're shooting them with rubber bullets. And then I like felt a need, like, okay, maybe I need to be doing something. Maybe I need to go get a hot glove and put that on and throw those cans back because they're gassing innocent people. Like, I just felt a need to like move. It's like this drive to move. Like a lot of times you wonder, like when shit really pop off, like who are you? You know what I mean? In the middle of that fight. And like I said, I feel like I've been waiting for it for a long time. And now that this is what it is,
Right.
there ain't no going back.
That's real, bro. That's real. There's a lot of, young people who we talk to that ultimately share the same sentiment. Not even just young people, but particularly, some of the young folks we work with that we've seen out there numerous days consecutively pushing the line. And we talking young ladies as well as the young men. So a lot of young ladies, big shout out to all the young ladies out there that are unafraid and unapologetic. We also, even some of the younger, you're alum, college grad, but we're seeing like the young high schoolers out there, right? 14, 15. And so again, just big up to them and enough respect to all the community members that's looking out for our youngsters that's on the front line voicing their rights, first of all, but then also voicing what they want to see changing in this world. You're seeing all kind of different messaging. You're seeing all the kind of different campaigning and coalitioning happening, people unifying and collaborating and intertwining their messages and their movement, because ultimately the end goal is justice. Mm-hmm. The end goal is justice. The end goal is for people to be able to have, the freedom to live and not be slaughtered in the streets in broad daylight, like Brother Dontre Hamilton right here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so Milwaukee, Wisconsin has so many cases that, reek of what we saw happen to the brother George Floyd and the brother Eric Garner and, all these different national cases that you see. We have this right here in Milwaukee for years, And so it's a situation where you, like, to your point about waiting on it or seem like something gonna pop off at all time, that's Milwaukee. They don't have to be an uprising in the streets. At any given time, it can pop off here. And it can pop off in a political sense where maybe it's inside City Hall and some corruption and some espionage popping off. And all of a sudden it's a scandal and people getting fired and people going to jail from the government perspective. That happens often. Or it could be something where the people are standing up and voicing out. The police in Milwaukee have been under investigation for years. We don't get into that. That's a whole nother show. However, let's talk about this night, man. I want to play the clip that you shared via social media about what happened to you, because some of the people that may be on the line or tuning in may not understand, the severity of what we're talking about. You sustained some pretty serious injuries, brother. So, like, for real, again, like, we happy you here, period. Like, we happy you here. Like, we thankful, G. Like, thankful you here, man. We happy you alive, bro. Like, that incident is not taken lightly. Like, we happy you here. We've been sending thoughts and prayers and trying to make sure people know what's going on and how they can support you, right? And we're going to talk about that as well. But I want to play this video so we can recap that night right quick, okay?
Okay, that's cool.
So this video I'm about to play, you want to intro it a little bit?
Yeah. So the video that most people saw at first was taken by someone else. And I happen to have a backup camera because I know a lot of y'all know that I never got my phone back after the incident. So a lot of my footage was gone. My backup camera, I got to that, and this footage is seconds before the incident happened. Like literally seconds.
All right, so we're going to watch this, then we're going to go into it.
Move, y'all, they're gone.
Right there, y'all saw Tyrone walking. I'll bring that back just a little bit. Right, so we clearly see a nice portion of that. So right before that, I mean, what it looks like is the protest was happening, and then the police. Did I see smoke? Did I see what happened instantly where there was running?
The cops that were lined up along the sidewalk, you'll see that in other videos. They was like lined up along the sidewalk on the right outside of the police station, and then they just started like walking really quickly towards us, and then all of a sudden you see this guy darting from behind that car. Him and the other group of officers were literally like sprinting at us, and then you have the National Guard, who we were somewhat like facing before the cops started rushing us from the other side. We were facing the National Guard, so they're behind us. So then you see that car, that silver car that's right there, and that's actually the person that hit me. Those people were panicking. That silver car where that lady was like running to get to the passenger seat, they were panicking. They was trying to get up out of there just like everybody else. You see the guy running. Yeah, so they scared the crap out of everybody because you're running at people with shields. I ended up getting knocked. There's that red van that's right in front of the silver car that you saw. That's the van that like I was like they were hitting me with their shields. I get knocked into that van. I end up on the ground right in front of that silver car. So they're trying to detain me in front of this car here. And then when the car panicked, they just hit me. The cops got out the way. They said it nicked two of the cops, but they really got up out of the way, and I ended up under the car, and it just drugged me for a couple feet. And yeah, I'm glad to be alive. That whole situation was just.
So, question: Did the car stop?
Nope. And that's the issue, and that's the reason for. I would take action in terms of a lawsuit. Like you didn't stop. You hear people screaming that there's a man under your car. I remember I was conscious during the whole time, so I remember hearing, the screams. Like I remember just being under there and just like telling myself to count. Like, and if I could still count, then I was alive. Like you're conscious. Like if you're counting, you're conscious. Like just continue to do that through the whole time of what was happening. But yeah, they didn't stop.
Wow. So that instinct just kicked in. Just that. Let me just count to make sure I'm still here.
Yep. I curled up. So that's why my hands and my arms and my legs is what have most of the damage because I just.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah. So, what are your injuries? Can you describe a little bit to people like what the severity of it is?
I have 6 broken ribs. I know it don't look like it, but I've been doing a lot of work to heal. 6 broken fractures in my rib. Not six broken ribs, but 6 fractures in my rib. And 3 chips in my pelvis. Then I have road burn all over these legs, this leg here, and then my kneecap here. And the biggest one on my butt. It's very uncomfortable to sit. And that's probably more painful than the broken bones. Really is the rope.
So, right quick, man, do you have any words, for your fellow demonstrators and protesters and people that's out there, people that may have been out there with you that night?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I got out the hospital, the work ain't done. Like I might be crippled, I might be broken, like physically right now, but like that my mind is still intact. And even for people that was there, like they shouldn't be discouraged to go out and still do the work. I knew what I was getting myself into when I went out there. I knew there was a possibility that I could get messed up. Like, even if I wasn't doing anything wrong, I didn't have to do anything
After
violent or
after
threatening.
5 nights, you've seen enough to know, I'm sure, that you don't have to do anything wrong or provoke anything or any. To your point, I saw the same thing, and we have, even in the photo testimony, we have, pictures and videos of people, innocent people being trampled on and being violated and brutalized ultimately. So you're absolutely right. I'm sure, and then you told me a little bit about one of your family members, said, hey, don't, slow down, lay low a little bit.
Yep.
You've been out there every day. Maybe you should slow down a little bit, so people care and people paying attention. Right. And speaking of caring and paying attention, I dropped the GoFundMe link for Brother Tyrone in the chat. If you are able, if you are, if you have the capacity to share the link, or if you have the capacity to help the brother's cause, because he just ran down all of the lineage of, injuries that he's still going to be dealing with. And so this is going to be an expensive recovery as well. And so the community has stepped up to support and contribute. You want to say anything to your people that have stepped up and supported and contributed?
Oh man, I love y'all. I really do. And to be honest, I was not expecting the community to show out the way they did. I was like, I can't believe this. Like, I still can't believe it. Like, I think we're like halfway to my goal. Yeah, I'm like almost at a loss for words. I did not. I just can't fathom it. I can't fathom it. And it just made me feel like I was doing, the right work, and that I was moving in the right direction in terms of my mindset about how the stuff works.
It's powerful, bro. Like, it's powerful. The community has stepped up, and you stepped up in major ways. You know what I mean? Like, you stepped up for people. You stepped up for organizations that maybe couldn't pay you or couldn't support you in the way that you needed to be supported. But guess what? You still did that work. Guess what? You still put your best art forward when you could. And so, you deserve it, brother, is all I'm saying. You deserve it. And, we want to make sure we drive some more support into that GoFundMe, so you can get past your goal, and you can have some time to heal without stressing about everything else that comes along with the medical bills, which is a whole nother unjust conversation that we can talk about another day. that system of racism and inequality. Yeah, absolutely, man. I know you've still been trying to work on some artwork, and I know you've been trying to upload some videos, and I'm gonna tell you again, slow yourself down. You got mad time. Don't be trying to do too much too fast.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I keep hearing it. Everybody telling me the same thing. So yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to listen.
I'm telling you publicly, slow down. You got time. Give yourself some break, some healing, and some recuperation time, brother. It's imperative. That's part of the work that we have to do. Part of the work that we have to do is resting, man.
Yeah.
We got to take care of you, so we had them magical hands for the next 20, 40 years. You feel me?
Yeah, that's real.
That's real, brother. For real, man. We love you. TRUE Skool love you. TRUE Skool got your back, whatever you need. So make sure that we can keep this conversation going as the healing process continues. And, as you continue your efforts, because I'm sure you thinking of other ways to contribute rather than being out on the front lines every day, right? Now you're thinking of other ways to contribute, and what does that look like? And how can we help? And how can, we can connect the dots and bring you the resources that you need to bring whatever's in you out of you, because it's that time, like you said, it's that time, and it ain't gonna stop.
Yep.
So again, man, we appreciate your time tonight, making it happen. Thanks for dropping that in the chat box. Shu, you dropped the links in there for us. We appreciate it. Anybody else on the line want to drop anything? Cordell is on the line. I see we have Gideon was on the line. Any of our TRUE Skoolers want to just chime in at all? This would be a good time. Shalina, you want to say anything?
Yeah. One, Tyrone, is super amazing and awesome to see you fully and see you doing as well as you are, because when I got that call that next morning, my fucking heart dropped and I was like, what? And that call just looked like, can you get a hold of Tyrone's family? And I'm like, why? And so to even like get that call that morning, it was you know, it was scary. It wasn't work. It wasn't like mobilizing. It wasn't organizing. Like, it was family. Like, somebody got hurt. And I know you, so there was never, there was no question attached to it of, oh, were you doing something? Like, that was never the fucking thing. It was just automatically like, okay. So just like even reaching out to your sister and hearing, you know, their worry and concern. And I just think that sometimes these conversations, and that's why I'm like, how you were saying, like, we get desensitized to some point, but it's not really. We just know how to talk publicly, or we know how to like save face and function in the midst of the madness. But that doesn't mean that there's not a very deep penetration to all of us. And so when Fidel is talking about take care, like, seriously, some of that is literally like, it's okay to feel, it's okay to be nervous or scared. Because what we know we don't have is the luxury of sitting down and not going through the motions, because some of these motions are being given to us regardless. And then sometimes shit gets really real on another level. And then that's why we just got to like pay attention and be like, okay, how do I stay in, how do I choose to be present at this moment when I have that power? So it's just really amazing to see you and hear you. I know we've kind of text back and forth a little bit. And I'm just really looking forward to the art that you create. And, you know, just happy that you're okay and well. And you had a lot of true schoolers. A lot of true schoolers were hitting us up like, is he okay? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So that's not even necessarily the adults that choose to be on the street. That's even some of our young ones who are at home watching, not really knowing how to get in, but, you know, they're people and their hearts are in the movement. And so, you know, you had a lot of love sent your way.
Sure. Yeah. So thanks for those words. And again, I dropped the link in the chat. But Tyrone, shoot out your personal, you know, your socials and anything like that if anybody want to reach out to you personally as well.
All right. My Facebook is Tyrone Randle Jr. on Facebook. My name Randle is spelled like candle. And my Instagram handle is MacLee. That's M4CKLEE. And if you want to listen to any of my music, you can find me at MacLee, MACKLEE. You can stream it on pretty much any streaming site that you find music, from Spotify to, you know, well, really anything. You can find me anywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So to close out, I'm gonna rock that photo exhibition one more time so people can get a chance to soak that up and really watch and look. And you might see some folks that you know. You might see some of your folks. You know, we try to keep it as discreet as possible, also because, you know, we ain't trying to help the other side do their job. You know, and so we try to make sure that a lot of our pictures didn't put anybody in no compromising position. Again, thank you for everybody who sent us pictures, and we have more to come. There will be a part 2 to the photo exhibition, and we want everybody to, you know, if you have some content that you want to help contribute, make sure you do that. Aisha said, thank you, Tyrone, and make sure you rest up in the chat box. You know, I mean, you know how to go, man. Sometimes people got to force you to rest, right? They got to force you to sit down and be still. So, you know,
Yeah.
life will do it to you sometimes, and your loved ones will too, man. So make sure that we see Tyrone resting online, right? Post a picture of you sleeping or something, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
Doing some relaxation yoga or something, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna share this video again because I want people to see again while we hear our photo exhibit. You fighting for justice. y'all for tuning in. This week's special Youth Fighting for Justice edition. Thank you again, Tyrone. We appreciate you. We love you.
Much love, much love.
Love, brother. We'll sign out on this episode of True Knowledge Wednesday. We'll see everybody again next week. Peace.